Hey, good morning, everyone. This is Midnight Brands coming to you with prep on Friday, March 31st, 2023. Looks like a fairly quiet night in the overnight session there. And yeah, not a whole lot else to say with that. Haven't had much time to flip through things here this morning, but we're going to go ahead and get started here in just another 30 quick seconds, give or take. Need to get logged into a few other things, and we'll get moving along there. Okay, I think that is got pretty much all of our stuff. That son of a biscuit. Do not mean to click that stupid title header there piece. That really sucks. Well, that's going to end up reloading on us and looks like absolute crap now. In any event, the piece is going to look at on there and see is, generally speaking, most things are rising up into a 20-day symmetrical extreme, sell side symmetrical extreme, that is, which talks about their distance away from the 20-day EMA. So, lots of things starting to finally get up there. NASDAQ was definitely pushing on it. Yes, catching up here in the last day. So looking pretty interesting. Of course, this is all gonna reload on us because I clicked the wrong silly button. We're just gonna move that off the screen. Of course, Ninja will be our favorite friend and take forever. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with SVXY here. I don't think we made a whole lot of tweaks to the basic piece from what was already in place by the algo. This is not the way that you want to start out a day as you get ready to go into prep. I know you guys didn't see what I was just talking about, but basically Ninja just kind of completely froze on me and said, hey, what do you want to do here? And now my chart window's not even responding. Oh, this is fun. Folks, I love it when technology just gives you a pain in the butt to fight with every day here. Alright, we'll see if maybe if this works. This is not give me the warmest of fuzzies here this morning. Yeah, I can't move any of my stuff around at all. This is a pain. This is not how we want to start and operate. So there you go. That's a little better. All right, so SVXY looks, generally speaking, pretty straightforward. Got some nice nice pieces there at the top. Gets up back near towards that recent highs. I'm not sure if it's all-time highs. No, not quite all-time highs. Pretty close to it though. It's interesting. I hadn't zoomed out there before to see kind of where it sat there, but yeah, it's a lower high against the COVID lows there. I don't know how that gives me a warm fuzzy. Even we've got that right below it. We've got the weekly full ADR piece we've been testing. So interesting one on that front. Slightly below, you end up with your quarterly trend guide, AR, weekly photo. Your full daily full ADR is just lower. Gonna leave those, and then right beneath you got weekly trend guide 2 with daily cheat on there, and then below you get into MPP daily TGR, which we actually rolled up and combined into that one there, and then put the daily cheat up higher with the WTGR2. So pretty straightforward in my mind on SVXY there. I don't think I actually hit save on those yesterday when we were doing all of our work and publishing it, so oops. And so VIX back in that trend of doing almost nothing at all. So VIX is you know, it's $1.20 yesterday. Woo! There's still really nothing to do anything with, so it's just really kind of crappy to watch, pay attention to. It was worse than watching paint dry if you're trying to watch it for clues, really.
Good morning.
There's our buddy. Hey, good morning, sir. How's it going?
Fantastic. And yourself?
Doing all right, thanks. Oops.
I realized you already started. I had it up here and I was just sending a text message. I was like, wait, he's moving.
Yep. Yep. Sorry. I wasn't sure if, yeah. So I was just saying the VIX actually had more range yesterday. It was up to a whopping $1.20. Zones are pretty much same as what they were the day before, though. No real changes on it. The end of week expected move and the OPEX cheats are still really just right on top of each other. And today they are contained within the TGR zone. It's still set to the more medium time frame. I don't even say medium, it's really short time frame. ABCD potential setup into there. Although right now we're kind of moving up a little bit. Given that today is PCE, everybody and their dog's fed brother want to speak. Brother, sister, whatever. So I would keep a note of some of these higher zones. So that's what I think about for VIX there on that one. Really don't care about this trend guide one here. Start getting interested really when you get up into the tier 2 cheat here for the day, and then up higher at the 20 and 50 day into the tier 3. So I think that's how I would treat VIX on that one. It is trying to break below that daily trend line. You can see there too. Didn't do much over the last few days, but it's trying to break beneath it a little bit. SPY. There you go. VIX. And then load up SPY. Okay, so SPY. There we go. Not even really getting up. I mean, it's just barely crossed into its average symmetrical extreme there. ABCD still there, still valid, pointing up. Take its TGR zone up here like this to grab TGR and the end of week expected move above that. have the piece we've been tracking with the new piece, I should say. I want to actually make this a zone here and call that call that a zone where you get weekly ADRs, weekly trend guide 2, weekly photo ADRs, tier 1, daily cheat. You have double gap fill in there, and then it's actually just a little bit above. You get to the full ADRs and the weekly full, and that also puts us at the top edge of the range box that you can see that we've been in there forever. And then if it decides to really get crazy, then we're up here at quarterly trend guide, monthly trend guide reversal, ABCD completion. And below, man, you get this big zone here with the MPP WTG1 daily trend guide. And we lose that, and we're going back to graph some stuff now. Also noticing here on the daily, we're taking out this trend line. And we've pretty solidly beat this daily anchor VWAP from the February highs. I think we're right at about the monthly anchor VWAP from the all-time highs. We're really just right about, it's like 407.50 something. So it's going to be up here in kind of this zone here, this WTG2 zone and whatnot. So yeah, I think that is, I think that's SPY.
Yeah, some big open spaces in there.
Mm-hmm. I can't remember, but there's a song that goes like that, Wide Open Spaces.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I wasn't gonna...
Someone by the chicks.
I don't know who it was by, to be honest, on that front. I just remember hearing it. Alright, cues. I don't think I got a chance to take a look at the cues earlier. Alright, there we go. QQQs. Looking kind of flat this morning, which is different than the last few days. Pretty clean zones. You could argue that just the fact that you've got all three of these right here. Go ahead and make that a zone. So you get your daily cheat, your end of week, tier 1 stuff there. And you also have full ADRs right there. So it could just be a speed bump. to go in and get the what's this? Looks like a gap. Yeah, gap fill up there, along with monthly trend guide reversal 2, weekly trend guide reversal 2. It's pretty nice, interesting, and nice seeing the way a lot of these things are just completely lined up on top of each other there. Yeah, I don't really like how trend strength's just right there in the middle. I think actually I would move this down. And have that zone kind of like that, as opposed to.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like that's a much much more important zone to hold today.
Yeah, yeah, especially with the swing AV wop there from the gap, and then we'll probably even say this is a kind of div one here. Gap fill, swing AV wop, and the tier 1 daily cheat there, like that. So if we don't hold this zone, which you can actually make fairly small, given that the swing AV wop's going to keep coming up to join that, assuming that we don't just completely bomb on the econ data this morning at, I think it's big lift at 7:30 Central. Yeah.
Just realized it's end of month.
Yep. End of month, end of quarter, end of week.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
So yeah, I think I mean that's the cues. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. They are up into looks like approaching the tier 2. Yeah, they're just above the tier 2, a long way to this kind of next tier up bucket. Actually, I'm sorry, that's the peak. Yeah.
The trend guide zone is really important for today. Definitely.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, well that's the cues. Of course, do keep in mind too, right here at the highs, like we're right at the daily anchored VWAP from the November 21 highs there. I mean, it's
The
just
weekly one also.
yeah,
It's the same thing. Yeah.
it's just right there.
Open spaces.
See, There you go.
You made me look it up. Now it's in my head, dude.
That's a you problem.
I was curious. Curiosity killed the cat.
Alright. Flip over to ES. Prep futures. Orange, orange. I'm not gonna lie, I'm really looking forward to later this afternoon and tomorrow so I can go to sleep. I'm tired as hell.
Not bad, dude. Shit. You work a lot, man.
Okay, so I think I did get a chance to look at this one this morning, tweaked it a little bit. Yeah, so I took TGR zone and dragged it up a hair there to include the end of week, the gap fill, etc. there. And then took the trend strength reference point zone down to include the naked VA from the other day, as well as the whatchamacallit, weekly trend guide 1 there, which would be, we close up here, we'll flip the weekly trend guides. We still won't have flipped, we'd have to get way up above higher to flip the quarterly trend guide. NQ is potential setup to flip it, depending upon how we close today. In any event, on ES, so above that, it's really just a lot of open space. There was some structure back at the 4110s.
Yeah. See here, this was the zone we couldn't get above yesterday. We got, let's see here, it goes back to February and then again in March. The little zone that I have here, every time we come up to it, we sell. And then yesterday we had a little pull from it, but then we closed right back inside that zone again.
Yep, that's one you're talking about right there. It's 4107, 4110.
Is it? No, 4087. Let me send you a picture. I like pictures.
Don't be sending me those kind of pictures, man.
No way. Don't send those yet. So you see how like yesterday we opened at that zone and kind of rejected it and then we closed back inside of it. So...
Oh wow, I can see this picture now.
What do you mean? It's a small window. It's still.
No, yeah, normally it's like, you know, 2 pixels.
Tiny. You exaggerate, man. 2 pixels. Come on.
Okay, so this is a real-time hour one, right? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's so yeah, the 4080 level there. Yeah, and then the top edge of the zone, like we tried there, failed, then pushed all the way through, retest, and then didn't even like, yeah, yep, good eye.
Yeah, so that's just one thing, because I mean, the top end of that zone is where TGR is at, so. And of course, I mean, you still have that end of week. Yeah, the zone that you got there, so it's like, you failed that again.
Yep.
Oh, I think Tim was mentioning something like that, like the all markets reverse type of setup.
Yeah, he mentioned that yesterday, and specifically tagged XLK coming up into a potential how markets reverse. When it was yesterday, I think it was coming into TGR was at the
And
same
that
spot at like WTGR and M monthly trend guide and whatever else. So yeah, and those are all the daily trend guides and stuff are all higher today now, of course. TGRs, I should say. Sorry, don't want to get yelled at. I mean, in any event, like I mean, I don't know. There's a whole lot else to add there. Daily trend guide is just above the weekly IB stat low, or sorry, weekly IB stat high, which I'll kick myself for not taking that one yesterday. That was came right down, hit the 5 minute, if I remember correctly, swing anchored VWAP, and the weekly IB stat high, which was Wednesday's close, or highs, I should say. So that daily trend guide one is a pretty good size with also a gap fill and annual pivot point. So swing anchored VWAP in there. I mean, definitely a number of things in that zone for TG. And then I actually combined, so I dragged it down so it doesn't actually go up to 4071. But so I dragged it down then to also then include the annual pivot point. And then there's a kind of a low volume node there on the 3-year time period profile. Because we just really haven't spent a ton of time in that area there. I don't know if I have it open. Yeah, I do. And there's just not tons of volume in this area here. This is actually starting to pick up though. It was yeah, in comparison to the other spots, it's definitely lower in volume. Anyways, beneath that you get to a different swing anchor VWAP from March 28th. Then 1 o'clock in the afternoon, monthly pivot, NVPOC right just below the monthly pivot there. And then really have open stuff until you get further down below to a different swing anchor VWAP and naked VA there. What else was in this full ADR block here? 4020s, daily anchored VWAP from the 24th is there, which is also the swing anchored VWAP. So if we do decide to pull and come all the way back, you can almost view it as kind of come back, retest these highs from earlier in the week. Daily anchored VWAP, go from there. Just break below the tier 1 expected move and then reverse off of that.
You also do, well, I know you're talking about the bottom measure. I'm looking at the top end of the chart here. You could probably do also a rising wedge, huh? Getting how many days does this go back? Sorry. 1, 2, so like 3 days? Gathering the lows from is the 29th and then 30th, and then I guess this morning so far, and then you can do like a I guess it doesn't work that way. I don't know. It always works in my charts, BK. I don't know why it doesn't work on yours, man. You gotta fix that.
Hourly charts versus 1 minute.
30 minute. Yeah. No, but 30-minute RTH.
Yeah.
ETH, I'm sorry.
Yeah, from a prep, I like the hourlies. You get the wicks are obviously much more pronounced, but you can also see more of the structure and stuff on them when you're zoomed out looking at 60-minute candles there. Yep. Well, there's still a bit of stuff there for sure.
Thing though, there's not much, past this gap fill there. I don't see anything.
Well, which
You have, what is that?
right here?
No, I'm looking at the top end, above that end of week dotty TGR. What else you got there? It's just supply and demand, right?
Yeah, so there's a naked VA right here, this MPP one.
No. I'm talking about all the way up there. TGR and the week dotties, I'm talking about that zone. You don't have anything over there, it's just a supply and demand.
Yeah, up here, sorry. Yeah, so there's gap fill, the end of week dotties, the range that we've been in.
That's why I'm looking here. Okay, yeah. I forgot to copy the cheat things. My dotties are wrong. Figures. Let's see. So I was looking, I was like, I have a dotty right there, but never mind. It's wrong.
We used to get these PR by 6:30 a.m. I don't know what that means.
Oh, he's talking about, he's working out. He's talking about personal records or whatever.
I see PR, I think press release. I guess that's because that's what I'm thinking about the last few days.
Okay.
Any of the rest of the stuff to the upside, yes. I mean, this is a big zone for sure here. We break above that. There is some structure here that we showed on the daily chart here, right? Came up into it, poke on December 1st, came up and poked into it on the 27th. Looks like we tried to get into there. It ties back to some of the other things, like it just tried to hold, and I just cut right through. So one thing that doesn't look nice is if you look at it on this kind of time frame, right? It does give you that head and shoulders type of look, right?
Good eye. I didn't see that. Really? You want to do like the Cookie Monster or something?
Oh yeah, there you go. Do that next time. But I still keep coming back to lean on the way that stuff is setting up. Like we can break this. Like, I mean, this whole area here, this 4130, especially if you look on this monthly closing basis, like once we broke below, like we just haven't been able to get back above this, high value area on the range here. So
That's crazy. It goes back a whole year. Yeah.
Yep.
Interesting.
In fact, I'm gonna get rid of. Oh, I can't do. Yeah, I gotta put the other profile in there. I don't know I'm gonna do that this weekend. I might just say screw all this stuff.
Yeah, man, just get your rest. You got a trip coming up, so.
Yep.
That's gonna be already tiring, so.
Mm-hmm. In more ways than one.
Yeah.
Alright, I don't think we'll come all the way down to visit that 3970s. Maybe we do, but in any event, I think generally speaking, that's pretty good for ES there. Definitely keep note of the fact there are some daily anchor VWAPs coming up to join some of the stuff here. We are through the monthly anchor VWAP from the highs and the weekly one, so like we reject from those. I mean, that's an interesting sign for sure. This is something to keep an eye on as we move through all this stuff. So here we got a couple of zones we combined and things we collapsed on top of each other.
That line would be really sick if we close above that monthly TGI.
Yes, it would. As usual, you always wish you had more than you did.
I hate that you told me that was a song. It's stuck in my head now.
Okay, NQ. I'm trying to think what's another song I will get stuck in your head.
No, I'm good, dude. NQ, what's going on with NQ?
You got the little engine that could.
No, I'm good, dude. This song is enough.
Alright, this one's just been straight vertical. Yeah, so this is quarterly trend guide 2 here, so unless we do something like really silly, like where the hell's, yeah, quarterly trend guide 1 is way the hell down here. So we're going to end up flipping on the NASDAQ, we're going to end up flipping quarterly trend guide on it. What else we got about? So at the highs here, you have weekly trend guide reversal, daily trend guide reversal, supply and demand. Above that, if we keep going, you run into the weekly photo, again, that we're starting to track and pay attention to. This will be the second week third week, I think, something like that. The tier 1 expected move daily structure at the 13,200s. Let's remind ourselves what's there. Yeah, it's that lower high there back in August. And let me save this on here, since this chart is not a global objects one. And she got that up there. It's also the range that we've been in for the last almost year. A low volume node on it. Yeah, you can see basic enough. Keep skipping through things. Small little div there at the end of week. Expected move, gap fill, and VPOC, naked VA. And then if we decide to keep chugging along there, then you get up into full ADRs. The tier 2 daily move, expected move cheat. It is interesting that full ADRs is way the hell up here. And then weekly full is up even higher. Below, we've got this trend strength zone. Which I know we didn't even hold. I'm going to put one here though. That puts it right at the weekly IB stat high. Anyways, beneath that, you get to your TG zone, which isn't really a lot of other stuff in there. I mean, we've marked some structure and there's some volume profile stuff, but it's really just low volume nodes. So it's you really need to hold that trend strength, keep holding that TSRP zone. And there is actually some structure here. Like I said, you've got the weekly IB stat high. You get back to some of these highs back in here from last week, and then obviously you've got the wick that we're still farting around with from FOMC the other week. Look beneath, you run into a gap fill, swing a VWAP from the 28th, and the tier 1 expected move. Decide to break below there, and then it's really just there's a NVPOC right there. There's really not, this is manually added stuff here really. So your next real kind of zone is gonna be down here at NVPOC, weekly pivot, tier 2, expected move, full ADRs. Should be 200 plus points lower. So, yep. NQ is definitely getting up there on the symmetrical extremes. It's not close to that 6% yet, but it's definitely up there, approaching the tier 3 kind of bucket. So yeah, Qs. And actually, I'll mention too, like right here, just around that 13,000 level, so way back down here near the trend guide, is where the monthly anchored VWAP is. So if they want to push it back down and get beneath there, you know, it needs to really get back below this trend guide zone to get us back below the monthly anchored VWAP from November of 21 there. So here, I think these lower zones are not going to happen, but sure as shit, if I don't mark them, we'll go down and tag them. RTY. Check this before I forget. Yep. So RTY. Did I click on the wrong one? I clicked on YM. So we'll look at YM and then we'll come back and look at RTY since I clicked on the wrong one. So YM, actually pretty clean zones on it again here today. I doubt this hit overnight. Maybe it did. Yeah, look at that. How nice. So right up at its TGR zone there, you'd actually take this a tad bit higher, I guess, and include the supply and demand there. Not that high.
That does look like a really nice chart.
Yep, just above that you get into, I'd actually take this div here and expand it. Actually, no, where I get rid of that is a div. You get the naked VA back from March 7th, so FOMC day, so that was the value area high on that day. MPP, ABCD completion, may prove to just be a speed bump if we really keep going and go up and grab this div there that we marked with the top edge of supply and demand and the Tier 1 daily move piece there. And then you get a what's that, weekly trend guide 2. Then you have weekly photo ADRs. Yeah, like 33, 130, 500 points. Yeah, I mean it puts it kind of up in this area here, give or take. Full ADRs looks like it's right in that area too. Yeah, full ADRs is right there. And then if we really got crazy, there's stuff way up there above. I mean, I'm not going to mark these. They're divs, and they're kind of weak divs to me in my mind. We don't normally see the Tier 3 on YM, and there's an VPOC there, but you know, be ones we can keep an eye on here. Yep. Downside, you got your trend strength. Beneath that, you get a whole cluster of things with daily trend guide, annual pivot point, weekly trend guide, 10-day high volume node, Really, just a lot of stuff right at that one. You got a swing anchored VWAP from March 28th, just coming up to join that area there. We fail that, and it's really just, you know, nothing until you get to the div with the 20-day EMA, the tier 1 sheet, and then there's a kind of last week, and then a 10-day kind of different volume profile node stuff in there. And it looks like there's a naked VA down there too, value area low from the 29th. Oh. Actually, I think I would get rid of this div here. We decide to come down and attack it like this, so you get your tier 2 gap fill, weekly heavy stat low, weekly pivot, and treat it like that. And then I have to ask, you know, are you feeling like this? For YM on a higher time frame daily, if I could get my stupid mouse to select the right thing.
Zoom in. Jeez.
And it's right into its up here. December's highs. It's up at 33, 1300-ish level, which puts it up kind of up near the monthly pivot, top edge of the supply demand, the tier 1 daily cheat for the day. Yeah, I mean, YM had a massive move, right? I mean, so like that doesn't really surprise me there. 7,000 points, right? 28,000 to 35 something. Anywho, I think that is YM. It's not a bad looking chart for the day.
No, not at all. Looks good.
Almost posted that in the wrong room. Okay, now let's look at RTY. Still trying to come out of its buy-side symmetrical extreme there. Pushed up yesterday into its end of week cheat stuff and pulled back from it pretty good. I don't really see a trend line on the top there. You could maybe argue that, but I don't like the anchor point. And that slices through too many candles. So nope. Gonna go ahead and dump this swing anchored VWAP. And we'll zoom out there just a little bit. So I'll zoom in down here actually. Yeah, so that doesn't, that's 1815-ish, 1817. So that puts that that VWAP right here. Yeah, highly daily for VWAP, cheat 2-day. So really you got this this zone here with the tier 1 expected move, trend guide reversal, the supply and demand stuff there, last week's high value area and whatnot. Or sorry, 10-day high value area, high volume area, volume value, whatever. What else we got here on the upside? So again, the daily anchor VWAP and stuff's right here. If we come up further, 50-day EMA is in with the tier 3 expected move and full ADRs. And then if we really want to keep going, you get your weekly photo, monthly trend guide, etc. 1850 structure. Yeah. Guess you could do a small little kind of div-ish area thing here. So we capture the closes on these guys. Oh, this is painful. Come down and grab this trend line, the naked VA stuff there. And have potentially a div there like that on a speed bump, really, on its way back down to TG if we decide to go down there. Interesting. I thought that RTY had flipped its trend guides yesterday, but I guess not. It didn't. It still managed to close above. On this one, you can decide how you want to do that. I chose to break that stuff up into two, as opposed to into 2 zones instead of one bigger one here. So the daily trend guide reversal actually moved down to just grab the cheats, the 20-day top edge supply and demand, and pulled the other piece up and out, so that you've got your yesterday's highs, weekly trend guide, and then the tier 1 stuff. You could treat it as one bigger zone. It's a lot wider of a zone. 1795s, 94.9s at that point, up to 1803, 10 points, give or take. Yeah. To me, it made sense. If we decided to do a lower high, you know, don't want to wait to the far top edge. So. Bitch. Yeah. Okay, GC, and then we'll go over to crude. I didn't get a chance to really look through the GC and CL charts here this morning, so bear with us for a minute. Stay fully contained within the weekly expected move on this one. Okay, so nice here we see trend guide with swing anchored VWAP from March 28th. Last week's and 10-day point of controls right there. What else do you have in TG zone? Yeah, so it wanted to include it up there. I viewed kind of TSRP and quarterly trend guide as one, with just how we failed below here, came up reject, and then broke right through. So I was viewing this as one as part of the trend strength zone, and then trend guide lower by itself here. Beneath that you get your WPP, this rising trend line going back to, I don't remember when. There you go, March 11th, March 12th. Given that it is PCE and a bunch of other stuff today, doesn't hurt to peek above and see what else we got. So we do have, we'll talk about this zone up here, which would be our weekly full. Weekly full, I look at the last week, last 2 weeks, and last 4 weeks, and build out the average pieces from there. So equivalent or very similar to the yesterday 5, 10, 20. This is looking at the last week, the last 2 weeks, and the last 4 weeks, and building out their averages from that to compute the weekly full in photos. given that we're marking way up there. Doesn't hurt if we get something crazy. For something like that, really. Oops, didn't mean to take it quite that low. Of course, you've got your tier 3 daily cheat stuff there at the 1947-ish level and a swing anchor VWAP from March 10th. So would expect those to be potential stopping points as well. It's interesting we keep doing obviously contracts rolled, but poked for high there, and then we just can't seem to get above this area here. But it could be that spot where it starts to curl up too, saying all that and looking at this. That's not what I wanted. Damn it. Fine, be that way. We'll do you like this. And I think here on the daily we can pretty safely take this guy off. And certainly the ABCD is still pointing way, way up there. I don't know, I've tried the short this a few times and don't seem to get real far, so we'll have to see. It's definitely kind of back and pushing into that sell side area. Maybe the better approach is to be just watching for it to get to the extreme on the 50.
It was really low volume yesterday, huh? Oh no, sorry. I'm looking at something different. I need another cup of coffee.
Something.
Nah, stop saying that doesn't really go too well.
I do think volume was low though again yesterday from the metrics. At 2:30 we'd done just over 1 million contracts on ES. Hadn't even done 500,000 on NQ. And on the 30-day year-to-date, and 365 days, we were all under 75% of kind of the average volume. Gold yesterday was traded more than the day before, but it was still, from a 30-day and year-to-date perspective, was less than its average volume. I don't know how much that stuff matters, but it's interesting.
Yeah.
Today should be a high volume day, certainly on the indices with PCE, consumer sentiment, a bunch of other stuff in there. In any event, I'm going to mark this one here. Again, like we said, we kind of split these up into different zones. and CL. Let's zoom out so we can actually see something. Oh, that silly crap from there below. Okay, so CL completed that ABCD, and then a little bit more on it. I guess that kind of makes sense there. I'm not sure why that guy needs to be so high. Because they wanted to pick up the kind of auto supply. No, that doesn't need to be that high there. Above that, you've got photo ADRs, weekly trend guide 2. You have a falling anchored VWAP from January 20th. Right there, it's 75-ish, so it'd probably take this down. So include that. Break above there, and then you've got full ADRs, weekly, full ADRs, photo ADRs. Looks like the weekly photo, November 11th, weekly anchored VWAP. Monthly pivot, supply and demand, gap fill. There's a lot of, this is a big zone there. Of course, we got to break above this 50 here to do, and to really matter. And that 50 days got the gap fill in there, and like I said, the tier 1 expected move pieces on the highs. I don't really like this jumbled mess down here. Guess I would probably take and redo this. It's no longer photo ADRs anyways. Actually, probably just go just like this. Anticipating that the 20-day will move up and move into that zone there. And we take out that 77 and we got some room to the top edge of that box. That's full ADRs, tier 2 daily expected move, and we don't get anything until higher really at all. We'll mark this as a possible div in case we really start getting above that 77 area. Take out the tier 3 daily expected move and the weekly full ADR. It'd be kind of crazy on a Friday to do that, but stranger things have happened.
Hey, BK?
Yes, sir.
I think your monthly pivot is off, brother. It's supposed to be down there with the weekly trend guide.
NYMEX ETH, right?
You always ask me, hold on. I gotta double check. No, CME index futures ETH.
That sounds wrong.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like Tim shared one of his chart up 7 a.m. your time, 7:16. Just scroll up, you'll see on the trading floor. He's got his monthly with the weekly, and then the 20 days, of course, so they're near to the trend guide. And then my chart is the same.
Okay, so MS1. That looks the same as what it was.
Yeah.
I gotta do this again real quick. Okay, that's white. I don't know what the hell that means. Yeah, I don't see a difference between the two of them there.
Yeah, when they change it out, does it seem crazy? I don't know, I just noticed that I was like, my monthly is down with the weekly, and then I scrolled up, Tim and Mo's charts are up there
Yep.
too, and we're all matching. I just wanted to point it out. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Yeah,
mess
you're
up
good.
Your flow.
I don't know what the hell that error is. It's popping up, it's disappearing. Okay, file doesn't exist, so it's not picking it up from cache. Or maybe it is and I'm not removing it. It's probably not picking up the fact that it's CLF. Okay, I'll have to take a look at, I don't know what's up there on that. So I
Oh,
won't,
Gucci, man.
I won't share that one.
I think that's the only thing. Everything else is fantastic.
Up near 73, so why is that one 7314, 7380?
And monthly is at 72.52.
I wonder if I'm missing a bar or something.
Probable.
Okay, I will take a look at that. Thanks for the heads up on that. I did not see that. I didn't see their stuff this morning on CL there. So, well, cool.
Right.
Well, thank you very much. Appreciate it as always. Anything else you want to peek at?
No, man. Just wish you a safe trip, a wonderful day, and that's it.
Thanks, you too. Have a good one. If I don't talk back.
Bye bye.
All right, folks, and that is it. Gonna have to take a look at that. I know we've taken care of this and resolved it, so I don't really know kind of how that is built out there. Sorry, Gerardo, I missed your message earlier. TSRP is calculated via normal pivot routines. And to answer specifically, I'll tell you, since I have the code open here, if you're still on and listening, calculates pivots. Is just basically close plus high plus low divided by 3.0. For standard Camarilla and Fibonacci, actually all three of them use the same calculation. So apologies if you sent that one earlier, I just missed it. Wasn't trying to ignore you there, Gerardo. So in any event, hope you all have a good one. And as a reminder, we are going to be out traveling next week, won't be around. And so yeah, y'all have a good one, and we'll catch everybody later. Thanks. Bye now.